Hello folks, welcome to Lexi IAS. In today's video, we'll be discussing a current affair topic presented to you by faculty Sushma KP. So what is the topic that we will be looking into today? Should voter IDs be linked with your Aadhaar numbers? In this topic, we'll be discussing it as to why is it in use, what is the relevance of it to your UPSC, that is a GS paper 2. We will also be discussing about your National Electoral Rolls Purification and Authentication program. We will also be discussing about the pros and cons of this program. Alright, let's get the video started. Look at this. Why was the National Electoral Rolls Purification and Authentication program launched by Election Commission? How do already existing voters link EPIC with their respective Aadhaar numbers? What did the Supreme Court mandate in the Puttaswamy case in 2018? All of these three we will be addressing in this video. First and foremost, National Electoral Rolls Purification and Authentication program in the period of 2015. To combat duplicate entries in your electoral roll, what the Election Commission did was it thought it will link the voter ID, or that is your EPIC card, to your Aadhaar number. So that point of time we can remove the duplicate entries. So they proceeded with that. Within 3 months, 300 million voters were added into the system like this. Now what happened? People went for the courts and asked the validity of such an act. To do this, your Election Commission had brought this. What is it? National Electoral Rolls Purification and Authentication program. Two main keywords you have to remember here. Look at this. Purification, authentication, that is, remove the duplicate entries. You can also curb your election fraud through this. Yes, you will authenticate it because Aadhaar is your biometric data, and you will also remove the duplicate entries. With this idea, they launched this in 2015. They went ahead and did this within a span of 3 months of time. 3 million voters were added into the system when people went questioning with the Supreme Court. At that point of time, Supreme Court stayed or passed an interim order. 2015 period of time, and post this it was stayed, stopped. You cannot do this anymore. And also with the passage of your Puttaswamy case in your 2018, it was mandated that you will use Aadhaar, that is a biometric 12-digit number, only for either your welfare schemes. Now when I am telling only for, mandatorily only for welfare schemes, or to link your PAN details. For anything else, and especially for voting, you will not use. This was your 2015 interim order. Then what happens is, your Justice Puttaswamy case, that's your right to privacy it deals with. In this, Supreme Court upheld Aadhaar. When Supreme Court upheld Aadhaar, what did it mean? Election Commission now can go for registration of electoral rules, and Parliament also amended their RBI Act of 1950. EC brought in registration of electoral rules 1960, which means with both of this they could bring back your National Electoral Rolls Purification and Authentication program, which means now they can introduce wherein your EPIC data and Aadhaar number can be linked together, which will remove the duplicate entries and which will be authenticated again by biometric. Now the case didn't stop here. Already people who have registered in your EPIC, now what will they have to do? So they introduced 2 new forms, your Election Commission, wherein any new entry, that is any person for the first time registering to be a voter, must provide to the electoral registration officer Form 6, which will establish the identity. This is for new users. for the existing users, it was Form 6B. This was provided. 2023, immediately this was again challenged. How can they do this? When Supreme Court asked, Election Commission offered the clarification telling, see, we will first ask for Form 6, Form 6B. We will ask for other details. We also have an option wherein you can tell you do not have Aadhaar. Possibility, right? You may not be having Aadhaar. So you will provide the details that you do not have Aadhaar. So you are not able to provide the Aadhaar number. At that point of time, you can provide different documents such as your PAN, bank passbook, driver's license, etc. So your Election Commission clarified to the Supreme Court telling that we are not making the Aadhaar number mandatory. But at the same point of time, they have not even removed these two also. Now the confusion comes in as to what would happen. That is, we will weigh the pros and cons of linking EPIC, that is a voter ID, with Aadhaar. Understanding? What are the possible pros and cons? First, with respect to pros, it will eliminate the duplicate entries, which will be more effective. The Election Laws Amendment Act 2021 states that an electoral officer can ask for Aadhaar data. See, I have mentioned this particular thing in both pros as well as cons. Here, yes, the provision has been made that you will remove the duplicate entries. For that, this particular person will ask the Aadhaar number. Here again it will bring in the question as to the whole point of Aadhaar was it is just a proof of residence, not a proof of citizenship. Right to vote is a fundamental right which cannot be taken away from you, and you introducing Aadhaar like this might be difficult. Now, for example, in advanced countries like your USA, UK, also they have different methods, but they do not have something like Aadhaar where you have biometric data. So this also becomes a concern. Next, this would lead to improved electoral rolls. Yes, removal of your duplicate entries, voter fraud can be reduced. Administrative efficiency becomes easier. Facilitating voter mobility. Let's assume in case future technological advancements happen where you can even remote vote. Yeah, possibilities are there. With technological advancements at that point of time, this would become easier. Then inclusion and accessibility. So all these are advantage of linking your EPIC card with your Aadhaar number. Whereas if you look at the cons or disadvantages, we don't know how much of errors that are there in your Aadhaar. Yes or no? And one more thing is the privacy and data security concerns which can be used for electoral manipulation. One main thing is this is very sensitive information because it has your biometrics. So when such kind of information becomes very centralized, so possibility is there that people could use it for electoral manipulation. And one more main important thing is as long as the voter feels that there is a possibility that someone will take my data and do something to me, you have to educate the public and spread equal awareness telling that no, Aadhaar number only you will be giving. Everything about the Aadhaar happens in the back end. So unless and until you convince them, you make them aware and you make them feel safe and secure to exercise their political right, which is a very important fundamental right, this will all be pointless. So this brings us to the end of the topic. What can the government do or what can the Election Commission do? First and foremost is spread enough awareness. What will happen? What is this Aadhaar used for? It is not a proof of citizenship but rather of residence. So clear clarification has to be provided from both the Election Commission and the government to the people to alleviate their fears. We've reached the end of the content. If you like our content, subscribe to our channel, hit the like button and share it along with your friends. Thank you.